The National Day celebration was well carried out across major divisions, subdivisions in Cameroon, in the restive northwest and southwest region. Over the years, these celebrations have been hampered as a result of the ongoing armed conflict, which for over 9 years now has been very effective. But this time in the northwest and the southwest region, the celebration recorded massive success in areas that used to be red zone: Bengui, Boya, Muyuka, Kumba, Kumbu, and you move to Bamenda, and you can name the rest. It was a successful celebration, even in Manfi, in areas that were seen to be red as far as the armed conflict in the northwest and the southwest region is concerned. Officials celebrated this day, which is a reminder of Cameroon's unity in its diversity. It was on the 20th of May 1972 when President Ahmadou Ahidjo decided to bring a one political system, a one vision, one nation together to what historians have described as a coup d'etat, from the aspect of national unity, looking at the respect of the West Cameroon policy. Other historians say it is not a coup d'etat, it is a meaningful unity which must have been done and must be done to unite the two brothers who were separated as a result of the Oliphant Pickup Agreement, which was known as the Oliphant Pickup Line in 1916, where you have the 1 feet of given to the British and you have the 4 feet given to the French. Other historians are arguing that if you claim that it is brothers coming together, what happens to the Adamawa regions that had gone to the Nigeria, which is currently a state under Nigeria? Why don't you bring it here? Others have also argued that if they were brothers, what was the currency that they were using? Who was the president at the time before they were separated? What was the legal tender and what were their policies? At one point in time, these people asking this question simply stated that at the time it was not a contextual state, and argue that you cannot call it a reunification or a unification or bringing two brothers together, because they are considering the contextual state. Regardless of how you look at it, Cameroon celebrated its national unity successfully across the 10 regions of the nation. And if you look at this celebration, many are saying that it was a celebration that reminds Cameroonians about the responsibility they need to put in place to ensure that this celebration doesn't just end at the level of march past, but is felt, is touched, and create an impact in the lives of ordinary day Cameroonians, whether it is from west, whether it's from east, whether it's from north, whether it's from south. As the beautiful rendition of the French version of the anthem says, t'es servi que ce soit le seul but pour remplir le devoir toujours, chère patrie, t'es chérie, que tu es notre seul vrai bonheur, notre joie, notre vie. À ton amour est le grand honneur. That is when many Cameroonians are saying that this national unity should lead to that vision and the rendition of our anthem. Regardless of how you look at it, Cameroonians are hoping that many things will be done to cement the national unity in our diversity. Another glaring issue, why we celebrate national unity, the streets of our major towns and cities is becoming a deposit ground or a dumping ground for debt and refuse. If you move across Douala, Yaoundé, major cities, you will be tempted to ask the question, what is wrong with our municipalities? What are the mayors doing to make it possible that our streets are clean? In a city like Douala, you have a city mayor. You have the respective mayors of Douala 1, 2, 3, and 4. What are they doing? In Yaoundé, the same. They have the city mayor. What are they doing? Our streets are being taken over by debris and dirt and dumping. The question is, who is preventing this work from being done, from the street to be clean? Cameroon Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, earlier made it clear that people should not dump refuse on the roads and that people should dump their refuse on allocated sites. But the question is, who is enforcing what the minister said? Is it not the role of the municipal councillors? What is the use of the campus of the municipal police if they cannot use the municipal police to carry this refuse and to make sure that they enforce this debt issue which is taking over our cities? Are the municipal police only good at harassing citizens when they park their vehicles or intimidating citizens across the street, whereas that street is dirty? Is it not the role of municipal police to be given to make sure that our streets are clean, our cities are clean, and no illegal dumping of refuse is done within our cities and towns? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Javis. I want to seize this opportunity to wish you a very big happy birthday, Nelly. My Nelly, happy birthday to you and many more years. God should continue to guide and protect you as you celebrate your birthday this day. And may his blessings continue to pour upon you as you celebrate your birthday. I want to seize this opportunity to wish you also, Nalova, a happy birthday to you. Nalova Comfort, who celebrated the birthday earlier this month. May God continue to guide, protect you, and give you many, many more years. All those of you celebrating your birthday this period of May, I want to wish you a very big happy birthday to you. Also, happy birthday to you, Sandra Fortier, who celebrated her birthday on the 21st of May 2026. Happy birthday to you, Sandra Fortier. Many more years. God continue to guide and protect you, give you many blessings. And to you, Ndefo Kelly, happy birthday to you, who celebrated your birthday this month of May. Happy birthday to you, Ndefo Kelly. May God continue to guide, protect you, and bless you richly in all your endeavor. Above all, Dr. Ellen, who celebrated the birthday this May. Happy birthday to you, Dr. Ellen. May God continue to guide and protect you, Doctor, the maestro par excellence, as you guys celebrate your birthday. In the studio, we are joined by a cream of panelists who are already here with us. In here, we begin with Barrister Dr. Asong Michael, presidential aspirant of the 2025 presidential election, and he's standing firm to believe that Cameroon needs of youth that can be able to galvanize the nation to meet up with the existing changing landscape, and that Cameroonians need to look for the future, and the youth are supposed to be at the center. He spent a lot of time to transform mindset and also to offer free medical screenings to the young, the old, and the elderly, and those who are unable to meet up with their expensive. He believed in healthcare coverage and also believed that the law must be respected. He is not just a doctor philosophically, but a medical doctor and a barrister called to bar, who has also been defending those who are having issues not to defend themselves, like the Betanman case, which he recently defended pro bono. And I want to welcome you, Barrister. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Mr. Javis. Once more, it's a privilege for me to be on your panel. Good afternoon, my co-panelists, and good afternoon to all our viewers. Please, my heart goes to all those Cameroonians who are being victims of floods in the four corners of this territory, particularly in Doualaye, Bonamusadi, Makepe, Mabanda, in the southwest, particularly in Limbe. We know with the torrential rains that have just begun, we are beginning to have more and more floods. And this just goes to show that our government has failed in town planning, in assuring that waters can be canalized appropriately, in assuring that people can construct in the right places so that they will not end up having their goods and their properties being destroyed by the floods which we have regularly these few days. Moreover, my heart also goes to all those Cameroonians who are being victims of this system. I'm talking here about political prisoners. We're talking about those from the Ambazonia, in quotes, regime, Ayok Tabe and co. We are talking here about MLC leaders. I think Professor Bibok, something like that. And
Juken Chamani.
Exactly. We are talking also about youths. like Patrick Menge. We are talking about Alhaji Lukman. We are also talking about people like Mr. Esama, who used to go around the streets of Bonanjo to destroy colonial monuments, which we strongly believe, and I also believe, that are not supposed to be in place due to the harm which the colonial masters have done to us. So my heart goes to them, and my prayer is that the regime should be aware of the fact that nobody decides to violate the law. Nobody will intentionally violate the law. It is due to your poor governance. It is due to your discrimination and marginalization. It is due to the fact that you are not respecting the constitution that Cameroonians are being forced to violate the law. Okay. So the best thing to do is that let these people out, do what is correct, and Cameroonians will walk in the legal path. Thank you very much, sir.
In the studio, we are also joined by Mr. Ezia Bechan, who has been doing a lot to transform the minds of our youth in the domain of education at the level of secondary education. He is contributing enormously in educating our young men and women to embrace the changing landscape. He has been firm on issues that Cameroonians youth must stay away from drug abuse and respect the rules which are being put in place, and above all stay true to moral values that build up the nation. In terms of morality and rigor, Mr. Ezia is a teacher across some schools in Douala, Cameroon. Happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Javis. It's always a pleasure that I'm part of your program. I want to salute in a special way Dr. Barrister. I want to salute all the viewers of my Media Prime, especially those that are fervent viewers of this program, House of Common. We are here to contribute our own quota when it comes to nation building. Like you say, morally, when youth are morally brought up, you know that the nation will count on a future, because one thing disturbed me so much when some group of women around the southwest region decided to come out like one person and say enough is enough for those who are selling drugs, and these drugs are disturbing their children.
In Meme?
And that was particularly in Meme, and there were some rituals that were carried out. I think the government should go a long way in fighting these drugs, because what I see around the quarter, especially in places where they consume this drug, and those who see the pass along to collect money from those who are doing this activity, I feel somehow the government should actually see how they can reduce this, because by passing around to collect money is indirectly saying we are promoting what is going on. Like my brother has said, the issue of flood, I was coming to the studio, my brother, the road is full of flood. I don't know. I was begging the person that carried me on a bike that please be gentle in the way you are riding. In some cases, I even struggle to say the car that is coming behind, you should bring down your speed. So it is a country that we are there, but we are saying we are doing positive criticism, because if we don't criticize, even if things will be fine, people will still criticize. We are all nation builders, and I feel when you invite us in a program like this, we are giving our own quota so that the country should move ahead, because we are all saying that Cameroon is ours. And like we celebrated the National Day of Unity, which is the 20th May, I always say what unites us is more than what divides us. So thank you for making me to be part of the program, Mr. Javis.
Thank you very much. Also, I want to wish you, Dr. Cap, a very big happy birthday, Dr. Cap, who is medical personnel and also an artist. I want to wish you a very big happy birthday, because I know say the Sena Bonnie fish. Happy birthday to you too. And now in the studio, we continue with our discussion. Dr. Barrister song 7. We just celebrated a National Day, and we are in the spirit of the celebration of the National Day. Is this day day just for celebration? Is it a reality? Do the common man, you move across Cameroon, you move across southwest, northwest, and other part, you were in the north of Cameroon, you have been to Yaoundé, you have been to several parts of Cameroon. When you look at national unity, can you, in all fairness, say that it is a reality?
Well, when we talk about national unity, I would like to say that it's first of all a rhetoric. It's more of an illusion. I think this celebration of our national unity has been the most unpopular since the creation of Cameroon. And I will say so because you realize that as the years go by, the duration for the march pass keeps on reducing. At first, we used to have march pass which used to stay about 5 hours, but now it's barely an hour. In Yaoundé, it started about 12, it finished about 1:32. So the time reduced. And you will see that the feeling amongst Cameroonians is that what is the real purpose of national unity? Because that is a question. And a few days ago, we were celebrating the 54th anniversary of this national unity. Now, I would like to state that from history, the 20th of May marks the day in which Cameroon became a unitary state. It's worth noting that this took place on the 20th of May 1972, where both brothers, Francophones and Anglophones, in the federal state, because from 1961, from the 1st of October 1961 to 20th of May 1972, Cameroon was a federal republic. And the federal republic with a president and a vice president, Ahidjo and Froncha, and 2 federated states, which had their different ways in managing their
based on their culture,
based on the legal system, based on their languages. But Ahidjo having the plan, and I think that it wasn't a good plan, because what happened with our national unity is that our national unity was being imposed. It was a forced national unity. So the issue is not really the unity in itself, because in a way, all Cameroonians are united. Be it those from Anglophone regions or Francophone regions, we see cultural unity transgress both sides. Like when we see the Sawas, the Bakuris, they're the same people. We see the Bambileke with those in the northwest and those in the BLM, they're the same type of people. We see those in the Adamawa, who some of them find themselves in part of the northern areas of the northwest region. You realize that it's the same people. But then the issue here is that Ahidjo imposed unity. It's like having a forced marriage. And you know, when you have a forced marriage, both parties don't agree, and one party always feels like it was being forced into the thing. And due to that, one day that party would have more than enough to take, and it's going to say, no, we don't agree with this. So fundamentally, our national unity has a very poor foundation. And that is the reason why over the years, we are already more than 50 years, that's more than 50th anniversary. You realize that due to that, most English-speaking Cameroonians have felt betrayed. They have felt assimilated. They have felt marginalized. They have felt discriminated upon. So, of course, that is what led to the Anglophone crisis. And that's the reason why each time there's a 20th, yes, each time there's a 20th of May, we have the impression that there is a resurgence of the Anglophone crisis. We unfortunately have military men who lost their lives, youths. We also have civilians who lost their lives. And these are things that we are not encouraging as politicians, because at the end of the day, the people causing this problem are those who were present in 1972. Who are still leading us today above 80 years old and above 90 years old.
Who know how to solve the problem.
Who know how to solve the problem and who know where the problem is coming from. But are refusing to accept that Anglophones, the southern Cameroons, was once a state. Who are refusing to accept that between 1961 and 1972, there was a federal Cameroon with a flag having 2 stars.
They are treating it like it's just another region.
Yes, just another region. Who refuse to accept that it's not only 2 stars that we don't only have 10 stars. We don't have 10 stars on that flag, but we have two stars representing 2 nations coming together. And it is worth noting that on the 1st of January 1960, French Cameroons had their independence. So it therefore means that if French Cameroons got into negotiation with English Cameroons from the 1st of October 1960, when they had their independence, to the 11th of February 1961, because on the 11th of February 1961, there was a vote that was being carried out for the Anglophone brothers to join the Francophones, the plebiscite, and the referendum. The referendum. And on October, it was being finalized by 1st of October 1961, it was being finalized by that creation of the Federal Republic. So these are things that my Francophone brothers and sisters are refusing to accept. And we have been having a huge debate on social media, Facebook, where Francophones don't even want to accept the fact that Anglophones or Southern Cameroons was one state. And I pushed them back to the international convention called the Montevideo Convention of 1933, which governs the duties and the responsibilities of states. And it is clearly written there that for an entity to be called a state, it must fulfill 4 criteria. The first criteria is that it should have a territory. Southern Cameroons had a territory. The second criteria is that it should have a people. That means we are talking about several tribes coming together to see themselves as one people. They had. We are talking about Southern Cameroons having a government, having a constitution, having a parliament. They had. We are talking about the possibility of getting into relations with another country, another entity that is a country. And Southern Cameroons got into that relationship, that partnership with the French Cameroon, who already had their independence on the 1st of January 1960. So, of course, even though Southern Cameroons was not recognized by the UN as a state, they fulfilled all the criteria to be called a state. And it is worth noting that it's not all countries in the world today that are being recognized as countries by the UN. So these are things that must be understood by our leaders.
That is Somaliland.
Yes, except they are in the agenda. And I believe that they are in that agenda. Why? Because the name given to the French Cameroons on the 1st of January 1961 is 1960, thank you, is La République du Cameroun,
which is the Republic
which is the Republic of Cameroon. What is the name of Cameroon today? The Republic of Cameroon. So it feels like everything that happened between the 1st of January 1960 to, because I think it became the Republic of Cameroon, I think in the Constitution of 1996, till 1996 has been kept out. So
around 85, it was moved for the United 1985.
Yes.
The United Republic of Cameroon was removed.
Exactly.
Around 1996, yes.
It became now the Republic. So we have the impression that our leaders today, in complicity with the colonial masters, have decided to sweep away the history of Anglophones.
Which is why we have the crisis.
I think maybe some of my French brothers would think that I am supporting the Anglophones, but no. I am born of an Anglophone and a French-speaking parents. My mother is Bassa/Hausa, so I have no interest, by the way, in a separated state, because I want the two people to come together. But if we want to resolve the ongoing crisis, Anglophone crisis, we must speak the truth. As I earlier on said, when you asked me the question, Mr. Javis, the issue here is not unity. The problem we are having here is that the unity was being imposed. The unity was being forced through principles of duress, through manipulation, through lies telling, and that is the reason why most of our Anglophone leaders had to abandon the others in the Fumban conference. In fact, they abandoned Estimona in the Fumban conference. And he is the one that helped Ahijo to achieve this agenda. And today it's a problem, because as long as a foundation is poorly constructed, that house is destined to fall. And that is what we are seeing today. And I've been reminding my French brothers and sisters, I've been reminding the leaders of this nation, that there is no army in this world that has won a war against its people. They must know that. So all our brothers and sisters who are in the army, they should know that they are fighting themselves. They are fighting their brothers and sisters. This war is unnecessary. This war has no place.
Okay. We'll be coming back to you, Doctor. Let's move to the other panel. Mr. Asia,
Yes.
do you queue with what Barrister Dr. Asong is saying in terms of the national unity? Do you feel it? Do you feel the national unity? When you when you moved to the southwest, you moved across, do you think that Cameroonians, even in Douala, where you are, feel the national unity?
Thank you, Mr. Javis. You see, when you started with your introduction, you made mention of that the 20th May of this year, the 54th edition, was well celebrated in all the 10 regions of Cameroon. Then something struck me. I said, when I used to be small, you see how people celebrate the Youth Day. Now, when I compare it, years after years, especially with the outbreak of the Anglophone crisis, you see that the celebration this time is different. When we look at it, we will see that most of the celebration that we are talking about, national unity, is television celebration, because we actually see what is March Past. There was March Past in Boya, there was March Past in Yaoundé, and all the 10 regions. But do we feel the grassroots person was touched by this celebration? I think that is where the national unity comes in. When I was seated somewhere, and you know, in Douala is a normal routine that when it is the 20th of May, they always close the stores, and maybe after March Past, that is when they open. But it happened that I sat somewhere and we're seated together with people that are uniform people, and what was coming out of their mouth, I was marveled, because they are the people that we are supposed to see them celebrating
and embrace them
and embrace the day, but they were asking Cameroonians, what are we celebrating? It means the unity has a problem, like my brother has said, and unless we go back, I always say this, unless we go back to a genuine dialogue, then we cannot celebrate the unity of this country the way it's supposed to be. Because when you look at what he has said there, is true. It's true of the history of Cameroon, and when we see that something is forced somewhere, it's just like you take how can I put it? You want to force, you are forcing your
like oil and water.
Good. It will not work. Because let me tell you, in those days that Mr. Javis, some of us, or let me say I in particular, that I did not know the history of this country. 20 May, I celebrated it with all joy. You understand, we used to have our canvas shoes that you wash, and then you take your chalk and then you make it to be white. Your white
make sure that Bongo Square will wear that day.
Your uniform you wash.
Wear iron.
Your charcoal iron in those days.
With line.
And then there is a CDC card that will come and carry us for 25, and then we'll go for Unity Day. But today, I'll tell you that they were celebrating. I was seated me. All I was watching is the nature of March Past that took place in Yaoundé. Like Miss Doctor has said, you see that the time frame reduced this time. But I want to say, Doctor, there are some parameters that you will understand that the time frame needed to.
What do you mean by parameters?
Mr. Javis, you understand that?
I don't understand. What do you mean by
there are certain things that the time frame needed to be short so that we gain time.
Okay, that's the parameter to gain time.
To gain time. We needed to gain time for other
rainy season.
We needed to gain time for other activities to take place. So I believe that to reserve some energy so that other activities could actually move well. But that notwithstanding, are we really united? I feel the Cameroon person is united in the nature that we live. Because I don't think
in terms of keeping away the government system,
yes, keeping away the
brotherhood.
The brotherhood is there. Because we are in Douala, and I don't feel we are that marginalized in Douala. Because we live
from the perspective of
the neighborhood,
neighborhood living together,
yes, especially in Bonaberi.
Yes.
In Bonaberi, we see that living together there. I hope, but it's not in all places. Because even in that living together, there are some small slangs that people will always throw. You know those names that will call some of us. But I always tell people that I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud to be an English-speaking Cameroonian. That's why many a times, Mr. Javis, I always don't love the appellation of Anglophone and Francophone. Because when I look at the appellation Anglophone, Francophone, I already see that it does not bring unity. Because when we call ourselves Anglophones and we call ourselves Francophones, it means we are saying we are not one person, one people.
But we also refuse that reality that because this is what we call a contextual definition, which has been given. It's a contextual definition that okay, people who speak English from this particular side should be called Anglophones from the Anglo-Saxon culture that they relate. People who speak French should be called, because the two cultures are different. Like in French Cameroon, the French Cameroon was ruled by the 1881 law, which became applicable in 1921. And that law was a pure law which was based on 4 cardinal principles: paternalism, assimilation, indigenism, and you had also by association. So you had those 4 policies. Whereas in the West Cameroon or Southern Cameroon was under the 1922 law of Law Luga, which was titled under his book The Dual Mandate of British Tropical Africa, which gave the indirect rule. That means that okay, rule their people based on this particular culture. Those cultures were bought and so erasing that. Are you saying that we should remove the contextual?
Mr. Javis, that is why I have supported what Doctor has said. You see, when you have a wrong foundation, because this is what is bringing the disunity. In the first place, if those who thought of bringing the country together, they could have wiped out this issue of Anglophone and Francophone. They could have said our French-speaking brothers and English-speaking brothers are coming together. Because I know it's difficult because of what your explanation is very correct. But you know there are certain names that when we keep putting them in place, they instead bring disunity more than unity. That is why when he was talking of in the 2 federal states, there were 2 federal states. Therefore, if we wanted to actually say Cameroon should be what it's supposed to be, some people are still saying that we should go back to the federation, because if we go back to the federation, the appellation Anglophone and Francophone will work very well. But if we are coming to unity, there are certain names or certain issues that we need to wipe out.
Why, okay.
The thing is that, sorry for taking your time, but it's almost impossible. Why will I say so? It's as everyone said, it's about culture.
But and let me know.
I'll give you a simple example. Yes. The other day, 1 month ago, I went to court with a common law attire as a lawyer. And,
yes,
and everybody in court was like, why is he dressed like that? Why is he dressed like that? You see. So when I realized it, people were just talking in French. You understand? So I realized that they don't even know that that is a common law attire. So I went on social media and I had to give a rundown on the difference between the legal system practiced in the English Cameroons, which is common law, and that practice in the French Cameroon, which is civil law. And many people were able to understand that the lawyer in the common law regions, like Northwest and Southwest, he is a lawyer and he's also a notary public.
Yes, a notary public.
Whereas here is not the same thing. The two are separate. Yeah, so separate. There are so many differences. For me, I don't think that it's an issue calling people Anglophones and Francophones. The problem is the reason behind calling people Anglophones and Francophones. And unfortunately, the reason for calling somebody Anglophone comes with stigmatization. That is where I was. You understand? Which is a problem. And you see that if we go back to our tribes, you understand? Me, I'm a Bangwa man.
Yeah.
You understand? I will not tell you that no, leave your tribe. There's no issue. You see that when it concerns tribes, there's no problem.
There's no problem. That's why I'm saying that
Anglophones and Francophones should not be an issue. But the thing is that it comes with a stigma.
That is the stigma.
And that stigma has to be kicked out.
That is the stigma that I'm saying we can only kick it out if we abandon those names.
So which means that
which means that
go to the concept of West Cameroon.
We should go back to the concept of West Cameroon and East Cameroon, or why not come back to the concept of a federated state?
It's a solution. Of course, it's a solution. I genuinely believe that's a solution.
Because there are some Cameroonians that truly, if you call them Anglophone, they don't feel comfortable.
Yes.
There are some that we call them Francophones, and they don't feel comfortable.
Of course.
And so you see, that's why what he said, I actually buy it. The foundation. I think we need to rethink it again. And maybe if we rethink it, we will celebrate the national unity in a different way. And all Cameroonians will be concerned.
Okay, let me read this message. My very good friend from Germany, from Dusseldorf, Max, right, he says, Max, happy Sunday to you. He says, hello, senior journalist Javis. Barrister keeps making the same mistake when he says the Francophone are not aware of the history of the two Cameroons. These things must be taught in the schools. Who is responsible of the content of curricula of the schools? If there is one thing that is not good with the ongoing crisis in the Northern and South, it is the creation and the awareness of the real history. He's saying that from his message means that they are aware, but they deliberately kept it away from the school syllabus.
Yeah, he is correct. He is correct. And before I hand over, Mr. Barrister, I happen to have been in a French school for about 13 years. That even though we had an English section, but I realized that what they call histoire géo, the content of their history, there are facts in history that they don't teach them. That one is true, and it makes them at times when we have this history. When we are talking, it's like we are outcasts. It's like it is not a history of Cameroon. Imagine that somebody would tell you that Cameroon was colonized by Britain and France. That's what. But one day when I heard it in class, a teacher was saying that, but I called the colleague and said, but this is not history of Cameroon. So there are certain things that I don't know whether it was a political decision that this history should not be taught. It should not be taught to French Cameroonians. I don't know, because when you look at it very well, look at their history. Their history is so hanging. They don't go to the deep root of history, especially when it comes to Cameroon history. That one, the person that is writing is very correct.
Yeah, he's correct, but there's an issue. What I'm trying to say is that we are all adults today. Not everything will be taught to you in school. Not everything will be taught to you in school. There are so many things that it's just because I started doing politics that I realized. Why? Because I had to go and do research and try to understand why the people are complaining, why, and I got so many materials, and that is what I'm using today. I'm not even using up to 10% of the knowledge I learned in school, in history, to talk about the Anglophone crisis I'm talking about now. And the majority of what I'm using today, the 90%, is what I did my research and learned. So, what I'm trying to draw the attention of our Francophone brothers and sisters is that they have to do research. They have to struggle to understand why the Anglophone crisis, why we are having the Anglophone crisis. So, of course, as he said, I agree with him that there's an agenda. And I said here that there is certainly an agenda. And that agenda is to prevent the others from knowing what truly happened. But is it because your parents did not give you knowledge that you will not seek knowledge? So I think that we as the youths, we that represent the continuity of Cameroon, we have to seek more knowledge. We have to go out there to understand the problems and to seek sustainable solutions. And that will only come from our awareness as being those who will secure the future of Cameroon tomorrow and take responsibility to that effect.
Okay, this one's a happy Sunday, Mr. Javis and your panelists. The union between the French Cameroon and English Cameroon is built on falsehood. Asking Anglophone to celebrate National Unity Day is like a thief who steals from you and asks you to celebrate. Emil writing from Yaoundé. This other one says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I like what Barrister has said. He has hit the nail on his head. I cannot imagine that a medical doctor will have this wealth of history, and yet we have historians who are thwarting the history to meet the objective of the regime. We must be serious in this country. We all want national unity, but the truth must be the truth. We cannot wipe away a history by trying to preserve national unity. That is not going to be possible. To me, Cameroonian government must understand that we have to go back to the 2 stars and also reaffirmed the foundation of federation. Whether it is a 10 state or 2 state, it doesn't matter. They should not treat the northwest and southwest like any other region, Mr. Javis. You know, sometimes you will hear they will tell you, es que c'est mal anglophone qui a le problème. But the issue is, they should understand that there was a federal structure and in West Cameroon. And they should also go back and understand the Eastern regional crisis to know that Southern Cameroon was integrated part of the Eastern region, which they participated in the assembly in Nigeria, in Enugu. And like Barrister said about the Monrovia Accord, the people left the Eastern region and came back, which means that they had a right to negotiate with Nigeria, and they came back and formed their own quasi-state. So
yeah, there was a
he is right, and I totally say I am a unionist, but under a federal structure. We must not say yes to separation, but we must say yes to the true history. That message was quite long, eh?
Yeah, and a very good one.
It's very, very interesting, very interesting.
So, Barrister, before we move to the next topic, and maybe your last take on this. Now, when you look at the way in which this celebration was done, will you want to say that we spend much time in antics, in semantics, than in the reissue?
Well, I would like to say that today Cameroon has been misappropriated by certain individuals. We have the impression that the Cameroon we have today is just for a few group of people, and those are the people that are celebrating the unity, the so-called unity, and the vast majority are really disappointed with what is going on. Cameroon belongs to Cameroonians, and I strongly believe that if our leadership does not take the appropriate measures, then we are still going to keep on having the crisis which we have today. So I think that they have the opportunity to amend things. They have the opportunity to fix things, and I think it's not that complicated. Everything evolves in time and space, even laws to evolve. So they must understand that what they were able to do 50 years ago cannot work today, and they have to do everything necessary to correct those errors of the past. If not, we are going nowhere. And I strongly believe that in Cameroon today, what we need to do is to rewrite our history. There have been so many things that have been hidden from Cameroonians, and not only in our history, but even in management today. There are so many accounts which are not being given to Cameroonians. The other day, the Minister of Mines said in a video that about 15 tons of gold were being exported to the Arab Emirates, to Dubai, but not up to a ton was being recorded on papers. So you can imagine the type of country where we live in, where there is no accountability and mostly there is no transparency. It becomes a serious issue, and these are pillars of good governance. If we don't have such pillars, we don't have transparency, we don't have accountability, of course, it becomes very, very difficult for us to manage.
He said the government cannot account for a kilogram.
No, a ton.
A ton.
Whereas we are exported 15 tons. Okay, let me just give you a figure. A kilogram of gold costs between 70 to 80 million francs on the international market. So just take by 15,000 kilograms of gold, we are almost at about 1,000 billion. That's 1 trillion francs CFA. So just imagine, that's only the gold that was being exported to Dubai. The state could not account up to 1 ton. Imagine those who have been sent to France or sent to America or sent to other parts of the world. Then that's only gold. Then imagine the other minerals, cobalt, lithium, diamond, and the rest. So you see that Cameroon is extremely rich, but we have a colonial designed system,
but the question
that is not permitting us to resolve our problems.
Mr. Let me take on this message before I ask you the question. Mr. Javis, my appreciation to Dr. Barrister Song. Which council will you run for? I need to be one of your councillors. Your objectivity and analysis are super. Andor Takom in Menka. So it's asking which council.
No, of course, we're going to get back to you because we are planning to organize ourselves, create an alliance of political parties, because we have about 360 councils and it will be impossible for one party to cover the whole country. So we are planning to come up with alliances with other political parties that are genuine, that buy into our vision, and we are going to come up with a same program for the legislative and municipal elections that all those parties are going to use for our sustainable development. So now, we are going to get back to you. I'm going to get your number and reach out to you.
My brief question to you is based on this ton of gold. Is the minister acting like gold is being sold from a different, which cannot be tracked? Who sold this gold? If they have tracked it, who sold the gold? So can they easily arrest us? Why have people not been arrested? How does the information benefit Cameroonians? Gold is not something like a dress you go and sell. You're an anonymous seller. It's something that can be chased. Okay, they have chased it that 15 tons of gold were sold. Coming from Cameroon. By who? From where? And past how? Why have these people from the airport, all those who do the screen? We have not heard that anybody has been arrested. If they can identify that, okay, this is Cameroon gold, it was sold to these people.
It is a network.
Is it just like a dress that sold?
It's a network.
The truth is that this is what I believe. I believe that Professor Calistus himself is surprised. You see, because he is shocked. And I think that while doing that video, he was acting out of emotions.
That was him as a
Cameroonian. That was like him as a Cameroonian,
yes,
not the one who is supporting the regime.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And he was like, but what's happening here? Look at the things that are happening behind my back. So that just goes to show that there are so many illegal things happening. You see, and that's where the issue of transparency and accountability comes in, because there is no accountability and there's no transparency in Cameroon. So you see that people will connive with the very high corruption rate which we have in Cameroon. They are going to bribe every leader, every authority in the administrative chain, every authority in the judicial chain, every authority in the forces of law and order. And you see people will go and exploit mines from certain areas and carry them and go away with it. Of course, we know that all of this is under the canopy of corruption. What is CONAC doing? What is CONAC doing? These are things that CONAC was supposed to have investigated upon. And that's why we are saying that we don't have a good audit check in Cameroon, which is something necessary. And in my program, I had once proposed that for us to be able to ensure transparency and accountability, there should be a special ministry that would do checks on every other ministry, and on every other agent of the state, or civil servant.
We'll coming back to you. We'll come back to you, Dr. Barrister Asong. Let us take on this other message, which reads, it says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. Nice program. Cameroon national unity is good on paper, but poor in practice. What we should do is how to make it possible to incorporate national unity with reality. Mr. Javis, how united is Socadel? When you look at the appointment system of Socadel and you ask yourself, is that national unity? Because almost all those who were appointed at the top executive board, no one Anglophone was among them. Courage to national unity and integration. Mr. Javis, there are a lot of issues that we cannot be talking about national unity. But anyway, it is national unity in disunity. This other message.
No, what he's saying is true. It's very true. Because we have the impression that the government today has assimilated Anglophones and making the Anglophones feel like they have never existed, and today they are all Francophones. And even the Socadel, we don't even know the appellation in English. This is something that we were supposed to have the name in French, and below we have the name in English. But when you see the abbreviation, you only see it in French. These are the things we are talking about.
Okay.
Even the bilingualism they are talking about, they are not putting it into practice. But what are they doing? They had to make sure that if they are putting Socadel as a title, below you should have the translation in English. I don't even know what it is in English.
Thank you.
We don't know. We don't know what it is in English.
Thank you, Lord. That's national unity now.
No, it's not. It's national division.
You just said
it is division.
You just said we should figure it out that we cannot be taught everything now. So they have given us that we should go and learn that one too.
So you should go and carry out.
Use Google to translate. What is société camerounaise de l'électricité?
Thank you very much. Hello, guys. Our main problem here is the governance. When we talk about law, we talk about which law. Is it the common law or the civil law? Can the two laws go together? Yapi Nkumbu.
I normally have a problem with that
are the same thing. No, the principles of governance are the same thing. Transparency, accountability, fight against corruption, making sure that civil servants work appropriately, good management and the rest. They are the same principles. Making sure that there's political stability is the same principle, whether it be in the French speaking countries or English speaking countries or Muslim, they are the same principle.
Mr. Isaiah, your last word on this national unity.
My last word on national unity is that insofar as we are struggling that Cameroon should be united, we should go back and actually ask ourselves this question: are we really united? Because we have celebrated, like we have quoted here, Socadel, things like that. When we keep saying things like that, means that we have much to do when it comes to national unity. So the last word is, I've always said that when Barrister was talking, it's a problem of the system in place. And when a system in place has worked for a long time, it's not like a car that has an engine. It must get tired. And so I feel that the system, like he was saying, we should try. The young people that are coming up should try to see if they'll come and change the system. Because with this very system, it is difficult to talk about unity when we keep mentioning the same names. When we keep talking of Anglophone and Francophone, I tell you it's a big problem. But when we cease those appellations, I think unity will be more than what we celebrate. And I want to end by saying, Mr. Javis, what is the use of this celebration that we spend hundreds of thousands, we spend millions, billions to celebrate when we cannot celebrate a week of electricity in Cameroon?
The places that have gone
when we can, the
weeks.
poor woman in the village cannot remove his crops and bring them to the market, no farm to market roads. What are we celebrating when we talk about? Why are we spending money where we know that there is a lot to be done?
The question is,
when it comes to the development of this country,
no water.
No water.
We are coming to that. We are coming to that.
We are celebrating unity.
The question is, what will they even do with the money? Because there was
But this money should be used for other purposes.
So what was done with the money that we did not celebrate? Still nothing. So provided
that's what it is.
That's why we are saying that they should use the money on correct things. Not that if you imagine, if you just sit and think of what was spent in Yaoundé alone for this.
Plus the banquet.
The bank, everybody, extra premium, extra allowances. Please, this money, Cameroonians need it. We need roads. We need electricity. We need pipe-borne water. These are things that Cameroonians need. Not talking about celebration and at times I even ask myself, when we Cameroonians, we are marching on this 20th May or even 11th February, are we really celebrating with happiness that the country is moving well?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Javis. I love your program. Keep it up. Please ask Dr. Aston if I could get his contact. I'm a young politician in Cameroon. Thank you. I am called Agbo, based in Okay, Agbo, I'm sure you've heard that already. In the studio, we have been joined by Simon, Bangu Simon, who is also a member of the civil society, who believe in the fact that the youth must actively take part in political issues and build their nation in a way in which it will be able to give everyone the opportunity that they deserve. He is a holder of master MBA in accountancy and believe firmly in transforming Cameroon from the way in which we are to a way in which we meet modern day state. He is a member of the Presbyterian Church of Cameroon, newly called to the CMF, a Christian Men Fellowship. Yeah, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now, you witnessed the National Day celebration. What is your opinion when it comes to this celebration before we move to the next topic? Are we Cameroonians more united, or are we just more into the celebration than the unity itself?
I think we are united because when you look at the national unity, we have series of different ethnicities in the military, in other services. I also look at the fact that when marching was taking place, it was not just the leading political party, but you had opposition parties which were marching. So for me, I think there is unity. There is that unity.
Now on the ground, do the common man feel it? You are from the northwest. You experienced the arrival of the Pope. You were with the Pope, not the experience. You were with the Pope in Bamenda. And when you move across, do people really feel like belonging, like this is us? Or is there much that the government needs to do?
That's right, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. But I think there are improvements when it comes to the northwest and southwest. There's a lot of improvement. Look at when the Pope came. See the population that came out. There is that unity. Look at the march past, the 20th May. At least, even if we have people fighting, we have people outside in the diaspora still putting on the flag. Still wearing the uniform, the Cameroon national, colors. That's to prove to us that there is some unity.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move now straight to the second topic, which is the garbage. Streets are being taken over. What is the mayor, or what are the mayors doing? Urban housing and urban development, what are they doing? Minister Tangani made it clear that people should not dump refuse on the road. That if you have a banana peeling, pocket it and go and dump it where it is legal. But who is to enforce this? What is the use of the municipal police if at the level our streets are being run by debt? I'll begin with you, Mr. Simon. When you drive across Douala and Yaoundé, when you see this debt across major street, major road, what comes to your mind?
It's a pity. It's a pity. I experienced one scenario coming back from Boya. That was through Bikoko and Dobo. There was some accident which occurred there. That was in the month of February, where three people were killed. And one of the causes of this was that the dirt, there was a pile of dirt on the side of the road. So as the truck was coming forward, the bikes which were on in that space passing could not make it, out area. So the truck crushed them. And now I know that I don't know if it has gone up, but the following day or 2 days later, the whole place was cleared, all the dirt which was there. So where did the dirt go to? That's to say that I think the government can work on something strategic to impose cleaning of a street constantly. Than that we keep those things on the streets and then they cause issues, health issues, crises.
Okay, Mr. Asia, when you move across, you pass through right, okay? You have that. You also come towards this guy with you. At the center,
Right market.
Yeah, right market. Not even talk about that market because that market has been evacuated. Evacuated, but I don't know. People just came back.
It's still there now. It's still there.
I'm a forever.
Yes.
Ante Granga, and there is Foko Garuche there. Mr. Javis, I don't understand what is happening in this country. I don't know, Mr. Barrister, maybe Mr. Javis is the one that is asking the question, and maybe you understand it better than me. You are a barrister of law. I don't know if there are certain things that have been taken over by the government, because I believe the council, they are the one that are supposed to manage when it comes to immediate hygiene, sanitation of the people. I think it goes directly to the council. But I don't understand whether we still have councils in this country, because it's not only the problem of Douala, it's everywhere. We saw how the minister actually bought wheelbarrows and all the like to give people to clean the street. What are those companies that are in charge of cleaning the street? What are they doing? I also have a problem. How will Cameroonians feel that the place that they are supposed to throw garbages is in the market? I don't understand.
Where they are sitting.
Where they are,
and they are selling food stuff.
If you pass in Rai market, as I'm talking like this presently, with this rain that has fallen today,
plus River Rai,
the whole place is smelling. And people are seated there selling what people are eating. I don't understand. So I used to ask myself, when it comes to these garbages, the first people I want to say, that somebody said somewhere that if you sit in your house and it happens that a neighbor come and they maybe throw garbage into your house, I think you will not sit and feel and go and call the people to come and clean it. You actually clean it before, when next it happens like that, you may complain. So what I want to say is, I first of all throw the responsibility on the citizens. I think we should be patriotic enough to know where we are supposed to throw.
Yeah, the part of this also comes with
when you come around Rai, not even Rai, when you come around Garut here, I've not seen anywhere that maybe the companies have said this is where we are supposed to deposit our garbages.
And they cross the highway. It's a highway.
What is wrong with us? I don't understand. Is it like we want to punish the council, or because we don't see the effect on us?
Because this is the road.
This is the road.
This is the middle.
Just leave the road.
Instead you put it by the side, you cross the road.
And what is happening? What is happening with us? We have ourselves to be blamed. You come there in Rai Market. I still go back to Rai Market. You see people selling food, edible things. You still carry your garbages, things that you have kept for more than 2 weeks. You come and dump them there. Are you in your correct?
And the people are still there selling.
I don't know whether we are in our senses.
Okay.
That is the first thing. Then the second thing, I want to call on our council officials. Instead of running behind cars every day, there is a lot to be done.
Yeah, municipal police. They should give their shovels.
They should give. That is what they are supposed to do. The government, the council should employ cleaners to clean the streets. Because they are receiving money from this market. They pay a ticket every day. What do they do with the money? I don't understand. So the council should take up its
that guy market that you have been talking about is illegal, eh? The government has wanted to move them there.
Yes, that market, there was a time that there was a debate, and the new market behind.
There's a new market.
There's a new market, and I always pass through that new market before going to school. At one time, people left. The council tried sending people away. I don't know what conspired. I think it is like, it is a business.
The Geo came and break things there.
And opened that other market. The Geo actually came there. I was present. It's not like I heard from somebody. He came myself. But after some time, the thing died down. If you go to that new market now, the thing is a forest. So I don't want to enter. It's a politics that I think somebody is gaining something somewhere.
I did not even know that there was a new market.
Yeah, there's a new market.
So I want to
say no to Comsa.
Say no to Comsa. And then the next thing, Mr. Javis, I want to beg these companies that are actually in charge of garbages in Cameroon. Please, there is something I have seen where we actually make people to come and throw their garbages. I think the situation of those places, they are not very okay. Because most often we see them just by the roadside. maybe they should take the initiative of creating an area that is a little bit distant from the road. Because when my brother was saying, there are moments that before you even cross the ground, the road has been narrowed.
But even now, Foku is blocked.
The road has been
a
narrowed.
two-way road, just one car.
If these places are a little bit distant, it will go a long way to save our highway.
Okay.
So I believe the government too should come in, please.
Thank you.
The council is not working, government come in. It's not all about holding people to pay tax. People have not done this. Meanwhile, there is work to be that the government has to do.
Thank you. Greetings to your panel again. I'm hammering on Barrister. It is because he is my favorite candidate to replace Mr. Biya. So permit me to tell him I disagree with him again when he wants to come up with a new ministry to control the other 60 ministries. I am Mr. Ignatius said IT slightly IT rightly we need an overhaul of the system by putting in place new young vibrant people. The old guard should go and rest, even though some are good at tennis players.
Well, Mr. Max, greetings from Cameroon. Well, what I was trying to say is that there needs to be a mechanism to control, to ensure transparency and accountability. Now, creating that ministry does not mean that I'm going to keep 60 other ministries. No, we are not going to have more than 20 ministries, amongst which we are going to have a ministry that will make sure that everything we ask a particular ministry to do, it is being executed on time. Because we cannot be using the same people who are doing the job to control. We need independent people to control. So if we say that, okay, we are building a road, like in Burkina Faso the other day, yes, they took how many months to build a 40-kilometer road? I think about 2 months. And you see,
big size,
very big. So if we say that, okay, we have given a deadline, 6 months to build this particular road, and it's being divided into 10 stages, there should be an independent organ that will check every day. Because the problem we are having today is that people are being given projects and the government will come and control after 2 years to realize that in that 2 years they were supposed to cover 50% of the project. They have not even covered 5%. And that is where the issue is, because those are things that can be detected from the second day. If you are giving a project today and it says that we have to start tomorrow, Monday, on Monday we should be sure that you have done something that will permit us to be sure that you will continue appropriately. So when we don't have that, it becomes difficult. But now, if we have a mechanism to do the control, if in a week we realize that you have not yet started the project, it means you are not serious. We take the project back away from you. We will not let you
come after 2 years.
Come after 2 years
and contract and still wait again after 2 years.
And meanwhile, you have embezzled the money, and since you have embezzled the money, might be because you know somebody in the government, they will cover it up left and right. Every year we are voting budget for the same road, the Douala Yaoundé road. Every year we are voting the same budget for a road. So now we are almost at about trillions. Okay. And we have not yet completed the road. So if there was an independent body that will come and check, you people said that, okay, you will do this amount of work or advance in this space in a week. If you people have not done it, then we're not keeping people, we'll kick you guys out, and we bring another person that will do the work on time. Okay. So that's why I'm proposing that.
Now,
because it's based
on
the
issue of, you once said, though we are not in an exclusive, but you once said you make it possible for the people to reach out to the presidency and report projects.
Of course.
And that's what is done in Burkina Faso.
Exactly.
There is the presidency has a hotline.
Exactly.
If projects are announced in your locality, be monitoring the project and be calling the presidency and be giving feedback.
And that was another mechanism of control, because you have to put in place many mechanisms. For example, today we are struggling to fight corruption, be it at the courts, be it at the gendarmeries or at the police stations, or even in other public services. Now we just need a citizen to come and say that you are asked for money, and we are going to deal with you squarely. So we also use the citizens to also play that role to control everything that is happening. Now that's giving power to the people.
Let's talk about the debt issue. So the time is running. Let's talk about the debt issue. You once did a video talking about the stretch of roads going to Akumba. Yeah. Where you have between Ekona and Mamu, that locality is Mamu, and I lost an auntie there in that area, Miranda, some years ago, because debt had covered the road,
exactly.
And their vehicle wanted to overtake, and there was a collision because that church has been narrowed. So over 15 people, including my auntie, died on that same spot because of that place the place you were filming, showing the dead that has taken over the road. And you also stopped at several issues when you were going to Limbe. And you pointed out also in Douala here, there is Ancien Route, the entrance to Ancien Route. There's a particular church which you pointed out where road that blocked the road.
Exactly.
What is the problem, Dr. Barrister Asson? What are our mayors doing? We have city mayor, we have mayors, we have also housing and urban development. We have regional delegate of environment and nature protection. Who is doing what and how?
Okay, the concerning hygiene and clean environment in Cameroon, it's really complex to manage it. First of all, we have a centralized system, extremely centralized system that has concentrated all activities on itself. And even when you look at all the ministries that are related to ensuring a clean environment, you realize that the Ministry of Health has a part to play. You realize that the Ministry of Environment has a part to play. Rather, the Ministry of Urban Planning has a part to play. You realize that decentralization has a part to play. You realize that territorial administration has a part to play. So we have over 5 or 6 ministries that have a role to play in ensuring that our environments are clean. But now, the problem is, due to the very centralized governance system that we have, it's now difficult for each ministry to take the right initiative. And now, even the budget that is being put in place is being dispersed. And now, each of these ministries are taking a little bit for the same purpose. So it becomes now difficult to manage it. Now, the next thing is that we have decentralization. Now, decentralization is part of a mechanism in centralized systems where they struggle to help the people participate in the governance of a country. Now, they do that through the councils. So decentralization is all about transferring certain administrative and certain administrative powers and also powers related to taxation through local communities. And the other day we heard that the Ministry of Finance has uplifted the tax potentials of our councils, which for me it does not really create any impact, because it is only among themselves, the CPDM people, who have created the disorder, and they are trying to manage that disorder within them, which has actually been exaggerated. Because I will say that some of these councils are behaving more than slave masters towards our people. Come and see the way they are collecting taxes. I was in Yaoundé at Marché Etudi, and these people are coming and collecting taxes every day from the merchants, and they are not even taking care of the place. The whole place is dirty. They are not even making sure that there are shelves and the rest, because the law provides that there should be shelves, and they have to provide shelves for the businessmen and women, which they are not doing. So of course that has been taken away from them. But now we have the transfer of administrative potentials, and in those administrative potentials there are certain things that have been allocated to councils, like celebrating marriages, birth certificates, managing security. That's where you have the municipal police trying to control things, and there have been also powers to manage the environment. But the issue is that this is a transfer of certain powers. So you are going to realize here that most councils don't have full autonomy in managing waste. And when we come to big cities like Douala, you realize that it's a city council that has that power. You see, to do that. And because they have that power, now they have pushed away Izakam. They have taken another entity. And unfortunately, that entity is not under the responsibility of the mayor. So the mayor cannot control that entity.
Now, which means
I'll give you an example. I'm not a CPDM man. I'm not trying to cover up any CPDM person. But the mayor of Bonaberi is a medical doctor, and he's my teacher, whom I know very well. I believe that as a medical doctor, he naturally knows
the consequences of having a very poor waste management mechanism. Of course, waste is a very good environment to culture bacteria like cholera. And now we have the rainy season, and with the rainy season, most of these bacteria will be carried along to small streams and rivers, and will get into houses.
And our water table is also low.
And look at, we're talking about marché du rail, where people are selling in dirt.
Wow.
So just imagine you buying crops that have been stained by those those waters, and you don't wash it well. We will easily have an outbreak of cholera. So he's conscious about it. But the problem is, he seems unable, he seems incompetent because it's not under his control. The person managing the waste is not under his control.
So which means that there's a problem now with the leadership structure.
There is a problem with the leadership structure, and that's why I'm trying to explain the mechanism to make everyone see that the main problem we are having here with waste management is the government of Cameroon, is the leadership of Biya. It's first of all a failure due to poor governance. It's a complete failure. That's the first thing. The second thing is that when it concerns waste management, there are certain measures that must be put in place to ensure that waste is properly managed. The first thing is that you realize that in Douala, we only have one depot in the whole Douala. Only one site, one dumping site of waste, and it is at Bondis. So it means that all the waste that leaves Bonaberi, that is in Bonaberi, must be transported from Bonaberi to village Bondis.
Plus the traffic.
Plus the traffic and all the rest. So it needs a lot of logistics. So that's a problem. So normally, for proper management of waste, we are supposed to have a dumping site in every quarter. Every quarter is supposed to have a dumping site, well organized and well structured.
And waste segregation.
Yes, and far from the roads, as we earlier on said, we have enumerated here the impact of throwing waste on the road. And I'll not blame the people, because the government has not shown them where to throw those waste. The government has not created an environment or appropriate measures to tell them that this is where you have to throw the waste. So what do? They prefer to bring it on the road, because they know that on the road the government is going to see it, and they are going to.
So it's a message.
It's a message.
Yeah.
Now the second thing, the third thing in waste management is that you cannot have a dumping site, and at the same time you don't have a well organized structure or company to transform those wastes. Now today in the world, exactly, today in the world, we are seeing what other countries are doing with their waste, producing gas, producing pavements for roads, transforming it into many other things. Now this is an opportunity that the government could use to create more jobs and to make sure that they are fighting against climate change, which are things that they have signed the convention, the different conventions, to make sure that they are going to fight against climate change. So there have to be companies alongside each dumping site. There has to be a company to transform. We have a lot of bottles. Those bottles could be transformed to other things and could be used for many other things. Now the fourth thing is that waste management should not be a thing that the government or the leaders should be procrastinating upon. You will not stay in your house, and you will not sweep your house, you will not clean your house, because you want the waste in your house to pile for 1 week or 2 weeks before you come and sweep it out. The logic is that cleanliness is a daily thing. I'll even go as far as saying that cleanliness should be an hour-to-hour thing, a minute-to-minute thing. I schooled in Rwanda. We have people sweeping the roads in Rwanda every hour and picking dirt every hour. So the streets are extremely clean. You're not going to see dirt pile in any place. So that's another problem, because they procrastinate. I think that even where we are even having the dumping sites now, which are even next to the road, had it been the government or the council put in place mechanisms to carry these dirts at least twice a day or even once a day, we will not see any dirt.
Okay.
You see, but the issue is that they are not.
Thank you.
They are not doing that. And now, lastly, is the budget that is being voted to manage waste in Cameroon. It's very minimal. It's not enough. considering the fact, the consequences of waste in our society, the budget has to be higher. More investment has to be put into that sector because it's a sector that has an impact on many other sectors. We are seeing here that has an impact on transport. It can have an impact on health. All those things will permit, if they put the appropriate budget, they vote their budget, appropriate budget is going to help to reduce costs in all those other things, ensure that Cameroonians have a better quality of life, and also ensure their security.
Mr. Tah Mai Javis, to me it is a rhetoric, because how can we be talking about national unity when some political parties are being banned from marching and some are being given a specific number of militants that can't march, and the case of the governor of Littoral region who refused a handshake to his comrade, the SDO of Wuri. Is it national unity, Mr. Tah? I am Tobang, writing from Noni. Okay, this one right. It says, greetings, Mr. Javis. I think I watched a video of you talking about the fact that the governor did not salute SDO of Wuri, and I want to ask, when you look at that, does that speak well of national unity when we cannot hide our dirty lenience in public and we decide to bring it in public? What message are we sending to the young aspirant youths who were at the grandstand watching, to tell them that you can do whatever I want to do? Anyway, Mr. Simon, let me come to you. The issue about waste, Barrister talked about the aspect of valorization of our waste. You, from the business perspective, I'm sure you did a project one time transforming pavement using plastic materials, transforming pavement. And so, when you look at this waste, are we missing a lot economically from the poor management?
Yes, we are. But in another way, the government has now to how am I going to put it, to focus on waste recycling, because right now, if you look at the Bonanjo area, one of the main causes of flooding and is because of paper plastics. That's what is causing most of the flood there, and there's no good drainage. But if we put up a mechanism in which we can collect waste, which I have seen people doing now, I think there are improvements. People collecting waste. There are so many things which we can use plastics to produce, chairs, tables. I mean, when I look at some localities, maybe in the villages, I look at their classrooms. Nowadays, you can use waste and put up chairs, create boards, create tables for people to study. So when I see the wood and broken woods, broken tables, it's not encouraging. Whereas we have an issue here in Douala, serious one, not just in Douala and Yaoundé, because of waste. What are we doing with those plastics? So I think somehow the mayors need now to focus on recycling, on waste management, so that they can see how that can help the waste issue we have around town.
Now, when we look at this issue about the waste dumping, who should be blamed, the people or the system?
The people and the system have to put together, because we, the locals, the people, the road, the sellers, and every business person around town, we have that habit of just throwing them. Yes, we have the habit of throwing them. So we need to work on ourselves too. We should not just expect the government to do everything. We need to also help the government achieve that goal. I lived in the US sometime, and when you have dirt, every quarter has a bin. You have a bin for food, and you have a bin shows for plastics. You even have a bin for like papers and stuff. I mean, there is that difference, and you don't find somebody just get up in the middle of the night when nobody is looking, throws it. You see, they are structured. So we need to structure our areas in that manner, and I think if we do that, we are going to see a lot of improvements on it.
Because yeah, we just look. They look. Yeah.
I mean, before I work at Bonanjo, so when I drive back to the house, I don't see dirt. When I get up in the morning at 6, the road is blocked. Where
is it demons?
Yes. and they trade in the night. That's why they trade in the night.
You don't see
Responsible at
the
all.
first thing you say, you're like, where's the hip? And then you ask yourself questions like, what is happening? But I also think, I mean, I've come back very late at night. I see some groups, communities, especially women, at that Bonaberry, Wrong Point Street. You know, walking. Even around 2 a.m. in the night, you see them trying to sweep, trying to put things together.
It's a company that is taking care now.
Nah.
Okay.
It's not like they are volunteers.
Yeah, then it's a company.
So, but at least that is to show that the mayors are working, or the council.
Well, they are doing their best, but it's not enough.
Best,
it's not enough.
So, but
Their best is not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough.
So we also have to put in our best.
They're doing nothing.
Now, when you say when you say we have to put in our best, some people will argue that the reason why they are doing this is because the government has not allocated site for them to dump their refuge. Like, okay, that this is a dumping site, this is a dumping site. What argument do you have for that? Because they are saying that, like we explained, if there is sometimes you pass in this road is okay, you pass, but the next morning you come and see the road has been blocked. The issue is they will say, because there is no, if there was a dumping site, they will go and dump their refuse.
Yeah, I think the government has to work on that, because myself in my area, I have someone who comes to take the debt. We pay them 500, but now I think that is not lawful. You need probably a certificate, an environmental certificate, to show that you have the capacity to carry those debts. If not, they will disturb you. So I think somehow the government should focus on decentralizing
The system.
Yes, the system, to make it possible that even private companies and enterprises can take it into their hands to help people, because if we leave it to the government, they will not be able to. They cannot handle all of us. Population is increasing. Look at the quarters now, so many people. So I think somehow we need to look into that too.
Okay, I'll move back to you, Barrister Song, because before Hizakam came, how were we dumping our refuge? Because all of a sudden, Hizakam took over, it has now become a problem. Before Hizakam, we're not having this issue.
We're managing our debts before Isaac.
No, I think that the population has also increased.
Yeah, population.
Because even before Isakam left, we had also started realizing that there were some sort of insufficiencies left and right. So I don't think that that even if Isakam was managing things now, things would have been different. No, I don't think so. The amount of the people have increased, and even in France, 2 years back, there was waste everywhere in France. So for me, it was just like a reflection of the colonial masters. You see, because France itself, Paris, had waste everywhere 2 years back.
Is France any different from Cameroon?
No, and Isakam is French now. That's why I'm trying to make the link. That's why I'm trying to make the link. I'm just trying to say that. And you see, that's another issue. You cannot take the cleaning of your house and give to a stranger. A stranger who does not even care about your own well-being. So you see, for me, it would have not really changed anything. Might be it would have been better, because I think that one of the things that Isakam, in what I said, one of the things that Isakam used to do is that they made sure that they carried debt every day. And that was probably what was reducing the amount of debt in which we had in our different localities. And another thing too is that they had this truck. The truck also helped to, I think, transform the dirt, squeeze them, and the rest. So it also permitted them to be able to carry more dirt than what we are using today. So it's really quite complicated. There are even times where we want to even carry out community services to carry this debt. But the question is, where do you carry the debt to? You mobilize people to pile up the debt, and where do you take the debt to? So it becomes difficult even for people who want to exercise patriotism by cleaning up the place and trying to dispose of these debts. They have to carry this debt from one part of the town to the other end. So it's really, really complicated. And I think that, frankly speaking, as Mark said, the leadership has to change. As long as the leadership does not change, these issues, we are always going to have them. And that's why we are doing our best to, if not able to take hold of executive powers, we should be able to take hold of legislative powers and make sure that we ourselves will have a role and a part to play in imposing certain things on the executive so that we can properly manage our country.
Okay, thank you for coming, Barrister Hassan. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir, and thank you to all our viewers.
Okay, you wanted to say last word for this before we go?
No, it's not like you asked a question.
Before Isakam came.
Before Isakam came, I want to take myself back to Abunya. We used to have places we called the Tikas land.
Yes.
So they were out of town.
Yes, out of
and
town.
And people were very responsible that you don't take your garbages and throw anywhere.
Yes.
You always take them.
The Tikas. We had about 4 main points. Each part, each neighborhood has.
People, Isakam came, and it's like people. The values that we had,
we lost them.
We lost them.
That's
why I'm saying that we should go back to, we should be responsible.
Yeah.
But I don't see that you see this is highway, my brother, and then you will say because Isakam is not coming to collect garbages, you carry your garbages and throw on.
Because I remember in Moya, I'll push the truck right to the outskirts, the Tikas, you empty it and you come back home.
This is what we used to do. So, Mr. Javis, my pleasure is we are here to criticize positively because we.
Or when you are going to the farm, your mother will carry it and go to the farm. Yes,
that is how we used to manage it. But we are not saying that the government is not supposed to play its role in keeping sanitation. They are supposed to do that. But insofar as they are trying their best, the council is trying its best. Please, Cameroonians, let us be responsible. It's better to even buy it there where we are supposed to buy it so that it should be very high instead of coming to throw it on the highway. Yeah. It does not make us responsible. So I want to say it's my pleasure that I was part and parcel of the program today, Mr. Javis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simon.
Yeah, we spoke on these deaths around town and the streets. One other thing I think the council needs to work on are the prices in which they rent some of those trucks for. Because maintaining those trucks is not an easy thing. Managing fleet is a very difficult thing. I've worked in a Caterpillar company that does with construction, roads and other sewage, contracts. One thing I noticed is that managing those equipments are very expensive. So the government needs to revise the prices in which they take from private individuals to carry out those works. And they also have to look at the prices too for those who take charge of fixing them. Because if they don't look into that, then there's nothing that can be done.
So there's exaggeration.
We have to, and that's a serious problem. See, we have to do like Burkina Faso. It's easy. We want to build roads. We get the trucks, we get all the equipment from China. Why are we using private people so that we're going to inflate the price? And behind those private people, we are still the ones behind asking for a percentage.
It is a system.
You understand? So normally the government has to just get, okay, each municipality has this number of trucks, have this number of tractors, have these numbers of bikes that are going to play this role. Now the council manages it and it becomes easier. Because all these private entities, and that's why I'm for communism. Because in communism, the government is going to take charge of those things. It's going to make sure that those things are provided. But now when you start having now a capitalist type of state where you have private people coming into place, that the government themselves, they are the ones creating those companies. Those companies, you will be at the Ministry of Health. The minister will go and create a company to come and then he will give the contract to the company. Then inflate the prices. Okay. So you see,
let him just land.
Yes. Sorry for taking your time.
That's fine, but I'm not for communism.
I know.
So we have to encourage, the mayors have to revise on the pricing strategy. We know they're not the ones paying. The money comes from the treasury, but they have to revise on the pricing. Thank you.
Now, what is your key message you have for the state as far as this management is concerned?
Subsidizing, they have to subsidize those small companies, small and medium-sized companies that try to do waste management. Yes, because one thing they have issues with funding. They should not be. I don't think they should even be paying tax. Yes, they shouldn't be taxed. They should see how to subsidize them so that it's easy. I mean, even if they're making the profits, they're making money, but it's towards, how am I going to say, they are working towards a state goal to ensure that our towns are clean.
Okay.
For that to happen, the government needs to subsidize.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you also, Barrister.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Thanks.
Okay, thank all those of you who took our time to participate on this program. This program will be rebroadcast at exactly 10:30 p.m. You can follow the program on our YouTube channel. We have a new YouTube channel now, which is My Media Prime TV Official. My Media Prime TV Official is where you will have all of our prime time programs there, which will be uploaded to you. My Media Prime TV Official. Go subscribe and also get to follow a recent update and latest update on this program on My Media Prime TV and other related programs. Until we'll meet again, no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter this day is that you should get ready. We are already in a rainy season, and also make sure that you don't deposit your waste wrongly, because a disease for one may be a disease for all. My name is Tah Mai Javis, Cameroon's commercial capital, Douala, Feng, Gudom, Bange. Until we meet again, stay out of trouble. Thank you, Future. Thank you, Ireland. Thank you, all those who took our time to participate in this program. Max from Germany. Bye-bye.